I found it kind of hard to believe that the chairman does not know the number of Americans who would be impacted. I feel as if he probably just didn't want to say it. Yeah. But that the number that the senator is going with is 2 million Americans, saying basically if you're successful of meeting your pre-year established target, your forecast of 4.6% unemployment, you're talking 2 million Americans out of work. And many of the lawmakers this week were gravitating towards, what is your message? What do we do for these most vulnerable veterans, et cetera, who will be on now more and more out of work, even if that means the cost of inflation. I mean, it was a pretty amazing exchange there, and then it happened with a few more progressive lawmakers in the House yesterday as well.
It's a very delicate exchange because you almost there's no way of walking out of it in a successful way.
Right. There's no winner. Yeah, it's lose-lose kind of.
If you raise the unemployment rate, you're affecting 2 million Americans. If you do nothing, you're affecting millions of Americans with rising inflation that is effectively a tax. Mm-hmm. It affects their standard of living anyway. So I think that exchange, we should not forget that it requires two sets of policies to solve this problem. It's not just monetary policy, it's also fiscal policy. Mm-hmm. So Congress should address selectively pockets of the economy through fiscal support in order to manage this transition as well. But the Fed is tasked with, first and foremost, inflation. I know we have a dual mandate, but it's actually, interestingly, the only central bank in the world with a dual mandate. Mm-hmm. Or other central banks in the world only have a mandate on inflation.
Right.
Precisely because the two mandates are often incompatible with each other.
Absolutely. Maximizing employment and stabilizing prices. Right? I mean, how many first-year economics students learn pretty quickly? It's like, oh, those two things are not necessarily compatible. Yet that's the established goal of the Fed. That's a tough challenge, right?
The goal is to have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, exactly.